He couldn't understand her, but he could understand she wanted him gone and out of her house. Today's episode of Nite Terrors comes to us from Texas. Now, Max hadn't been married to his new wife very long when they bought a home that had come up for sale. They bought the home and they started moving in. Now, unfortunately, the home had come up for sale because Mrs. Cross, who had lived there, had died. So the people that were moving things out were her 4 daughters. As Max and his new wife were moving things in, they took the remaining few boxes of Mrs. Cross's things and they put them in the living room so that they would be easily accessible to the daughters as they came to get them. Now, Max didn't know Mrs. Cross. He had no idea who the lady was who had passed. But as the daughters came by to get the boxes, he told them, "There's a woman here who's been driving me crazy, fussing and carrying on." So they pulled up a box and they went through it. And they said, "Do you see her in any of this?" He went through several photo albums, and then he saw an older pic of 4 or 5 people, and he looked, and he showed them, and he said, "This one, but older." The 4 girls jumped up screaming, and they would not come. 2 of them would not come back to get the remaining boxes. So Max and his new wife, they're living there, and they start remodeling the home. Max is remodeling the kitchen at this point, tearing the floor up, ripping up the vinyl, gold leaf looking stuff. And the whole time he's ripping this vinyl up, there's a woman standing over him, screaming and carrying on. He couldn't understand her, but he could understand she wanted him gone and out of her house. He couldn't understand the language, but he could understand that she was upset. He couldn't see her clearly, more of a peripheral, and he could hear her almost in his head. He was worn down by her and ready for her to leave. One day he went into the bedroom and he sat down on the bed. He put his elbows on his knees and his head in his hands, and she was standing there just giving him hell. She was pacing in front of him, back and forth, just carrying on, wanting him out of the house. He was at his wit's end. And then something strange happened. He stood up, but his body didn't move. And he walked towards her, and it was like when you see in movies when someone's dead and something comes out of them. But he stood up out of his body, but he was bigger than he was normally, like the Hulk. And he stood up, and it was blurred, it was so fast. And he went to the woman standing at the foot of his bed, and before he could blink, he pushed the woman through the wall and out of the house, and then came back to stand in front of himself and sat down, still facing away. All of this happened within half a second. Then he came to, he was still sitting in the same spot, and he never saw the ghost of Mrs. Cross ever again. What do you think happened? Drop me a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. If you like this one, be sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any others. That's all I have for you this week. Be safe, be kind, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Nite Terrors. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button and drop a comment below. And don't forget to click the link in the description to send in your encounter story to be featured on an episode of Nite Terrors. Also, you can see what else is going on in the Night Callers world. Thank you, everybody.